Hey everyone, it is day 2 of September Saga, where I'm making a YouTube video every day, especially when I don't want to. It's kind of part of the point is to push through that feeling of not wanting to do anything. And I get that a lot. And honestly, I did not expect to be on day 2 already wanting to quit. People who know me are probably surprised I wasn't expecting that because it's not that uncommon. But yeah, I I'm not sure where it comes from, but I'm very aware of the fact that I do this with everything. Um, you know, jobs, I always fucking hate it. Everybody hates their job. I'm not unique in that aspect. I just can't go anyway. Everybody just fucking pushes through that, I guess. Pretty much everybody I talk to can at least on some level relate to me describing the feeling. Um, but obviously we have no way of being able to tell the intensity that I feel it versus theirs. Whether or not I feel it worse, or maybe I'm just a bitch, or I don't know, something like that, I guess. Um, but sure, that's something I don't like. Um, but then there's Dungeons and Dragons. I have my own like homebrew world. I've written tons of campaigns, and I suck at doing that. I don't play very often because I don't like being a player for most tables, and DMing is a lot of energy, and I don't have a lot of energy. I give up very quickly. Even when I play pretty casually with my friends, I give up super quickly. There's probably like hundreds of character sheets that have been made for games for mine that have played for like 5 sessions or 0 sessions sometimes. Because I just fucking can't do it. I don't know. I also struggle to articulate it. Like if I had to go to a doctor and explain what I felt when I stopped doing things, I couldn't. In fact, I usually can't even explain the things you should be explaining to a doctor. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like it's painful, but not in the ordinary sense. Like it's painful in the way that like grief is painful, like that kind of idea. Where I think everybody would agree that grief is painful, but if you were asked to like describe that pain, like, oh, is it a sharp pain? Is it a dull pain? I don't know. None of those. It's like a unique pain. It's like describing color to a person who's never seen. Um, you kind of just can't. And the thing that sucks about it is it's fully avoidance, right? Like I am a very avoidant personality. And so I know that if I just force myself to do it, it's not that bad. Um, but I don't know that in the moment that I have to do the thing. And usually my mind and my body work really hard to convince me that that's not true in the moment. Um, like I not to diminish other people's experience, but in my life, I don't find much fear in the ruminating thoughts. If my head is going a mile a minute and I'm super anxious, that doesn't really affect my actions that much. I can push through that. So the mind, I feel like I have figured out, but the body is where it really catches me. Because your your mind and your gut are really intertwined, and mine I feel like are especially intertwined. Again, I don't know that that's true. I don't know. I feel that way. It seems that way. Where, I mean, I will puke just because I'm angry or I'm sad or I don't want to do something and I have to. Um, and I don't know what you do about that. I actually had to go to the ER a couple times, or twice recently, because I was vomiting a lot. That's fun. Um, and it was very painful. And the doctor asked a bunch of questions, and I give them all the details. And once they hear my history, they're always like, "Oh, you're super anxious. Probably that. Probably freaking out. Why don't you relax? Why don't you try medication?" As if that wasn't step one. Um, Yeah, and so there's this weird cycle of you go to doctors and they tell you should go to a therapist, and then you go to therapist and they tell you have to go to the doctor, and then you go to a new doctor and say, "I guess my old doctor was bad because my therapist told me it's a medical issue," and then the doctor's like, "Actually, your therapist is bad. You should get a new therapist." And then you get a new therapist, and then the therapist is like, "Actually, that doctor was bad," and then nobody solves your issue, because realistically, I feel like stuff like that is all on you. Like I know that other people care, other people have sympathy, but you don't really go out of your way to solve other people's like medical problems or mental problems because usually you have your own, or if you don't, you probably just don't care. Um, and I don't know how to solve mine, I guess. So I've been stuck in this loop for a couple years now of not solving it, and it's like people will in those moments of if I cancel a D&D campaign or I don't show up for something. There's like a brief little while where they're like, "Oh my god," like, "I'm sorry you have that going on. I feel bad for you," like, blah, blah, blah. And then you keep canceling on them, and they're like, "Oh, no, I hate this. I don't care. Your reason can be valid, or maybe it isn't. Like, maybe they believe you, maybe they don't. But it sucks. Somebody could cancel on you over and over again, like, they're getting mugged every time, and even if that's true, it's just like, eventually you're like, "Well, I'm gonna not make plans because 'cause you're gonna get mugged again." That'd be a weird one. Maybe maybe your house is in a fucked up location if everybody's getting mugged every time they come over, but, I just mean in the sense of I mean, some people will attack the validity of my excuse, and then other people believe the validity and just don't care. And you can't really blame them, right? Like I don't get mad at those people. But obviously it sucks. So realistically I would like to just at this point I feel like my main direction is just to push through it, right? Like even if it is horrendous and really difficult to push through, I mean, what other choice do you have? Right? If solving the problem doesn't seem attainable, maybe you just learn to live with it. And that's not ideal, but nothing really is. So I feel like there is a world that I could just, find a job that, you know, it's like an office job where you can kind of get up and go to the bathroom when you need to. For my stomach and the anxiety stuff, you just kind of put in a box somewhere and ignore. Um, because so far, every time I've tried medication for it, I'm either twice as anxious and super restless, or I'm getting stomach issues, like from the last time I tried medication. It was helping me sleep, which was nice, but yeah, it definitely ripped up my stomach. And then even that gets complicated, right? Because even the people who are trying to treat you for stuff that's just in your head, I would do air quotes, but I don't want to. So figuratively in your head. I hate that expression because people say it as if it's like, "Oh, you just have to relax, you just have to stop overthinking, and then it won't be a problem anymore because it's all in your head." If the problem's in your head, it's so much worse. I don't know what the experience is for everybody. I would rather the problem be real. I would rather that I have, like, an ulcer or I have something wrong with my stomach because you can find that on a scan and get rid of it. But if the problem's in your head, you have to just like you're like in the fucking Matrix, and you have to figure it out and just like solve this thing nobody's ever solved before because you created it. You're the only one who can figure it out, and that's way fucking worse. And so far, I feel like I don't judge other people that take medication, but every time I've tried medication as the way to solve that, it is not working. It is making it worse. Um, and I've tried a lot. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty proud of myself for sitting here today and just yapping for 10 minutes. I mean, that's all you can do, right? It's just, I set a goal, I'm going to reach it. And for now, nothing else matters, right?